Readers of Reddit. r/AskReddit. Veterinarians of Reddit, what common mistakes are we making with our pets? Grain-free's 100% marketing. You're paying extra for absolutely no benefit. While we are on the subject, byproducts should not specifically be avoided. Pets need nutrients, not ingredients. Spay and neuter. Why owners elect not to do this astounds me, considering the number of conditions that can be prevented by this simple procedure. If you cannot afford to drop $200-300 once a year on your pet, you should not have a pet. This covers only the basic routine services a pet should receive once yearly: exams, preventative medications and testing, vaccines, etc. If you have a pet, set aside a specific emergency fund for this pet. Depending on the condition, a few $100 can save a life. On a similar note, do not get a Great Dane and act surprised that medications for a 150-pound dog are more expensive than your old terrier's medications. Listen to your veterinarian. The breeder said, is not a valid excuse for anything. It doesn't take much to put two dogs in a room and wait 60 days. Why people say this to a veterinarian is beyond me. Your breeder makes money on making sure each bitch produces a large number of viable offspring, nothing more. Please vaccinate for the conditions your veterinarian recommends, when they recommend them. If you are not willing to spend the appropriate amount of time training and exercising your high-energy dog, please get a fish. If you do not have experience with any dog in the working class, please at least put in the time to research and then train your GSD, GSP, etc. Do not purchase a pet for someone else as a surprise. Getting a pet is a 10 to 20 year commitment and should not be dumped on an unwilling or unable family member, girlfriend, etc. Not really a mistake, more of a PSA. Veterinarians have one of, if not the highest, suicide rate by profession. This is influenced by high-stress environment, desire to save every pet, inability to cope with a mistake, misdiagnosis or lost pet, high student loan debt, access to euthanasia, other drugs, view on euthanasia, etc. Please be kind to your veterinarian. Common mistakes. 1. Declawing pet cats. Unless someone in the house is immunocompromised, it's considered inhumane. Contrary to what most people think, it isn't simply taking off a nail. It's a literal digit amputation of the distal phalanx. That's like cutting your fingers off at the last knuckle. 2. Letting a declawed cat outdoors. They can't defend themselves and will die. Edit, as some people have pointed out, they will die is not necessarily true. More likely, they will be horribly mauled or injured due to being largely defenseless. Is this an absolute certainty? No. But it's very possible. If you care about your pet, you should not want this in the realm of possibility, but what the hell do I know? 3. Not neutering your pets. They will lead arguably longer and happier lives if they are fixed. Edit, happier lives. Cuts down aggressive, unwanted behavior, which is usually the leading cause of being returned to a shelter for being bad and misbehaved. Healthier lives. No chance of death during pregnancy or any kind of reproductive cancers, such as testicular, prostate, ovarian, uterine, etc. But what the hell do I know? 4. Never taking your pet in for an annual checkup. Things change in our pets' bodies faster than they do in ours. Think of their lifespan as opposed to our humans. Edit, I'm sorry, my thermometer in your pet's tush is a bit uncomfortable and the mere sight of me gets him trembling. Believe me, when I went into this profession I wasn't expecting animals to dread coming to see me. But 15 minutes in the clinic, one day out of 365 is the least you can do for an animal that loves you unconditionally. But what the hell do I know? 5. Giving your pets people medicine. A lot of the things we can ingest may be toxic to animals. You can kill your pet even with the best of intentions. 6. Waiting for weeks or days to rush in with an emergency. Chances are your pet has been in considerable pain, treatment may be more complex, difficult, and your bill will be much, much higher. 7. Equating food with love. Pet obesity is a real thing. You could be taking years off of your pet's life and causing them painful joint issues by overfeeding. 8. Feed a raw diet. Animals can get food poisoning too. Make sure to talk to your vet to ensure your pet's diet adheres to certain species-specific guidelines. Edit, as many people have pointed out, their pets are on vet, AFCO-approved raw diets. Fine. As long as you're not throwing your pet's whole chickens and calling it holistic. But what the hell do I know? Also, I was thinking of dogs and cats when I wrote this. I should have been more clear that there are exceptions for every species. Let your snake do its raw snaky thing. 9. Make your pet vegan or vegetarian because you are. Cats absolutely need essential amino acids that can only be found in meat. They'll die otherwise. 10. Neglect dental health. This is a common issue we see at the office. Address oral health early and it'll save you money and your pet's teeth. I'm a vet. Not letting your dogs around other dogs until they have all their vaccines. Their socialization window closes about 14 weeks, meaning it is pretty much closed if you wait until 16 weeks. This causes a lot of dogs to go nuts and freak out whenever they see something they didn't see during that period. Notice, I did not say to take them to the dog park. They need to be around other dogs, and other people, in controlled situations, puppy socialization classes, friends' houses, etc. Make sure the dogs they are around are healthy, vaccinated, and good with puppies, and let them have positive experiences with other dogs and people. Obviously never get behind on their vaccines while you're doing this. Expose them to your tall friends, your friends of different races, your friends with beards, hats, sunglasses. Pull out the broom, an umbrella, an iron board. While giving them treats and having fun the whole time. Try to let them walk on slick floors, bricks, carpet, etc. so they won't have fears of those things. And always happy. Every happy, positive interaction with something makes them less afraid. Every lack of exposure, or negative interaction, makes them more afraid. Your dog is your friend, not your slave. Your goal is not to make him do exactly whatever you want no matter what. It's to make him have good manners, but also let him have his own preferences, too. You're not training him like he's in the circus to do a bunch of stuff for your amusement. You're teaching him how to move safely in the world, which means not doing something, biting, urinating in the house, jumping uncontrollably, that will be a threat to his life someday. More dogs are surrendered and euthanized for behavior reasons than any other reason. Make sure your dog is vaccinated and don't expose him to diseases, but make sure he's around a large variety of other people and dogs safely when he is very young. Before his puppy vaccines are finished. Edit to add that I'm a vet. Edit again, you're not training him like he's in the circus. Not socializing, training puppies. Socialization, not just to other dogs. To people, cats, men in hats, vet care, foot touching, handling, bathing, car rides, etc. 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 Basic dog behavior and development knowledge, and positive reinforcement training with just a few basic commands can be the difference between a well-adjusted dog in a loving home and a dog with persistent behavior issues being surrendered to a shelter. Edited to say, I mentioned it in some prior comments but forgot to say here, I'm not a veterinarian, former vet tech with 5+ years experience. Please utilize your family vet as the primary resource for questions. They know the most about your pet and are there to help you, and may recommend a referral to a veterinary behaviorist. If you are looking for a nice behavior resource, check out Denver Dumb Friends League website and click on their behavior handouts link. Excellent handouts and articles on a ton of subjects. getting and relying on medical advice from breeders and groomers, with no medical background. I once saw a rat terrier with a fractured humerus, which typically requires surgical correction. As I stepped out of the room to check availability with a surgeon, the client called the dog's breeder, who said not to follow my advice and to just put the dog in a sling, and that she's done on her own dogs plenty. Also, not exercising dogs enough. Many behavioral problems can be solved with ample exercise daily. Trim your pet's nails. I can't tell you how many times I've had to wrestle an ingrown nail out of an animal's flesh. And that stuff can get in the deep. And most of the time, the animal doesn't give you any signs that it's in pain, and the owners don't even notice it's happening. Edit, as many have pointed out, there may be some instances of not needed to cut your pet's nails. Your pet may grind them down themselves from scratching posts or walking on concrete surfaces or digging up your yard. Keep an eye on nail lengths and use your best judgment. If you think they are getting long, trim them yourself or take them to a groomer or veterinarian. I'm seeing a lot of dog, cat posts, so I'll throw one about snakes. Snakes are not supposed to sneeze or cough. They lack diaphragms, so if yours does this, take it to the vet immediately. Please do not drive with your snake free roaming. This is extremely unsafe for the snake, as it causes stress and could get stuck somewhere while you are driving. Different snakes require different beddings, humidity levels, enrichment, etc. Just because it works for a corn doesn't mean it's meant for a ball python. It is best, and highly recommended, to feed frozen to snakes. This is because live rodents can be dangerous to the snake if the snake does not want to eat. I've seen so many dead snake pets due to this, and also, easier storage. If your snake prefers a more lively meal, try dancing or running said dead mouse around the tank for it to attack. Understand your snake and stress. Do not humanize your snake into thinking that it's behaving in a mammal or human-like way. It could be showing signs of clear stress and you're seeing it as, or look at its sassy face. You can love your reptile while also respecting its boundaries. This is my personal rant or tip. If you want a cool, look at me accessory, may I suggest a new hairdo, a cool jacket, or literally anything else besides a snake. These animals are surprisingly delicate to their environments and require everyday husbandry. You scaring people with it or using it as a way to get chicks is not helping the reputation of these pretty awesome creatures. They have fears, intelligence and likes or dislikes like any other animal. They are not breathing jewelry. Reptiles in general are very complex pets to keep healthy. Do your research, please. Learn the diets, the vitamins, the lights, the humidity, etc. These animals can live to be over 20 yet rarely do due to poor husbandry. And my tip for all animals in general is enrichment. Play with your pets, train them, give them puzzles, new toys, new hiding boxes, etc. Literally anything to keep their minds and bodies fit. These creatures rely on us for their whole lives. They do not have phones, TVs, books, etc. They have us, their owners. It's our responsibility to keep them entertained and living full lives. Even a fish could enjoy some new plants and scenery every once and a while. I'm a vet. I can list a million things I wish owners would understand about their pet's health. But equally important is understanding that if you cannot afford basic veterinary care, then you cannot afford a pet. Period. This is an industry with serious mental health concerns. We are routinely presented with cases that could have been avoidable if you'd practiced the suggested preventative care, or brought your pet in for evaluation once the symptoms started rather than waiting 6 weeks until the animal is beyond help. We are routinely berated by the public for being uncaring or having no compassion for not providing our services for free, though often veterinary diagnostics are performed at a fraction of the cost of human diagnostics and the turnaround time is considerably shorter. I do not want to euthanize your beloved family member, But if you have no ability to cover the estimated cost of care, you put us both in an unfortunate situation. The fact that I have to euthanize multiple pets on a daily basis is one of the worst parts of my job. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but oftentimes a traumatic end could be prevented with basic yearly checkups. Also, please don't expect me to cry over every euthanasia. If I didn't distance myself from the heart-wrenching sadness, I would never be able to perform my job. Hello. Veterinary nurse here. Kind of surprised I haven't seen this posted yet, might have missed it. However, please, if your pet got into your weed or edibles, just tell us. No, we are not going to call the cops on you. We just want to treat your pet correctly and not waste our time. We really don't care that you smoke. Also, please put your weed up where your pets can't reach. If dogs will eat literal crap, then yes, they certainly will eat your pot and definitely all of your baked edibles and candy. Thanks. I'm graduating as a veterinarian in a few months. One of the most common things we see, and a very serious issue at that, is dental disease in pets, and often the owner has no idea that their animal's teeth are bad at all. Dental disease affects all body systems. Bacteria and dental disease go hand in hand, and those bacteria end up all throughout the body, affecting organs such as the kidneys and the heart, not to mention it flipping hurts. Some owners are under the impression that because their animal is still eating, that must mean that they do not have an oral health issue. The truth of it is you eat or starve. I like to tell people that the most common symptom you'll see in dental disease, besides, of course, the yucky mouth itself, is no symptoms. I have seen a lot of owners comment how their dog or cat is like they're young again after getting a much-needed dental treatment, specifically the extraction of diseased teeth. Arguably the most important aspect of oral care that you can do at home is toothbrushing, optimally every single day with a veterinary toothpaste. Outside of that, regular physical examinations and professional dental cleanings under general anesthesia when necessary. Unfortunately, anesthetic-free dental cleanings may do more harm than good, including giving you a false sense of security of your pet's dental health.